April the 29th, 2024. Guys, you're looking at an article that just came out a few minutes ago. It's on Fox News. I will link to it. But what you're seeing is Columbia University up in New York City. And many college campuses right now are having anti-Israel or pro-Hamas demonstrations. Now, I don't know really how much of the protest are directly involved with that situation. It looks like just an intifada rise, as a matter of fact. And one of the protests, and these are happening all over the nation, cops are having to be pulled in, National Guard, Highway Patrol, just, Sheriff's Department. And, but it looked, on one of the videos, they were waving flags. I think it may have been in Washington, D.C., just down the street from the White House at that university. But they were shouting, "World Intifada now." Now that means world, they're going to rise up, take over the world. That's what they're trying to do. We saw the same thing a few years ago with BLM. But this is a little different. There's already been information coming through the line that we've got sponsors that are external. One in Europe, name starts with an S. The other is China. Now, one thing that I've noticed looking at this picture is the police have come down really hard-handed on a lot of these demonstrations, unlike with the rioting we saw again with the George Floyd situation, BLM riots and things like that, where they just backed up. But this has to do with a lot of money that's being put through the Israeli pipeline. And that changes how everybody looks at the situation. The more money, then the more severe the consequences will be for these protesters. In other words, there's major companies that have a lot of money invested in Israel. Whether they cared about Israel or Hamas, I don't think it matters. It matters that their financial interests are protected there. You understand what I'm saying? So that could have something to do with a heavy-handed approach of law enforcement. But another thing I've noticed is in college after college, the tents pretty much look like they came from the same 2 or 3 distributors. You know what I'm saying? Just like pre-made signs and things like that. So they're calling for protest today, all the way through until they say they're going to get in the Gaza war, right? And I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. They're trying to get a ceasefire going there. But I don't know if that will even stop what's going on here, because I don't think it's really related. It's another excuse to bring about riots, destruction, and chaos. That's what we're seeing. And again, I saw one article or one interview, and the interviewer had asked a young lady, college age, what were they protesting for? She said, "I don't know. We're just, I'm not sure why we're here." They were being paid, handed out information, everything else. Didn't know why they were there. So again, it's all about taking the young people in this nation and turning them against all the values that built the nation to what it is. And it goes back to indoctrination, starting at very young ages. And now we're seeing those people that were indoctrinated leading a lot of these college protesters. One lady, this was from Alan Dershowitz, this morning said that one of the ladies at one of these major universities went to jail for killing 2 police officers in this type rioting. I think it was in '68 or something like that. Maybe the wrong year, but something like that. Anyway, now she's a college professor teaching these people to do what she did. Now, the problem here is, again, the police are being a little heavy-handed because of the money involved with Israel. And when you got that much, again, that much money going, you make phone calls and things happen. Well, what will happen when, again, if there is a ceasefire, will this just stop? Israel is saying that if Hamas will hand over all the hostages, that whether they're deceased or alive or whatever, to where they can account for them. They will give a 40-day peace, a treaty for 40 days, and Hamas is refusing it, saying, no, we want a permanent truce. And I don't think Israel has plans, we'll see how it works out, to let Hamas survive intact in that area. Don't know. And I'm not taking sides either way. I'm just reporting this information. Now, these people could be a lot of the same folks that we saw, not only BLM, but Antifa, things like that. Again, indoctrinated, paid to disrupt. We also have another group, and I don't know if you guys ever watched The Economic Ninja or not. It's pretty good. But he's in Chicago, and he was, I'll link to that video. I watched it this morning. He was there with some friends, and I'm not sure why, but they had noticed as they were leaving the hotel to go get something to eat, that dozens, maybe hundreds of well-dressed protesters were outside a major store there, downtown Chicago. And the door was locked. People were inside. The lady was having to let people in because this was a planned snatch, just grab everything. The whole mob comes in, just a mob theft ring is basically what's happening there. And it's forcing, in many states and many big cities, these people to go out of business. Why is that being allowed to happen? Well, in one video in New York, there's whole corporations that are set up with warehouses there, websites, and everything, guys, that these people that go into these flash mobs and steal everything in a department store, grocery store, whatever it is, they go into these warehouses and they sell the products there. Then you can buy it online, and who knows if it's Amazon or whoever, that it's coming directly from those warehouses where it's been stolen. And they will even take orders, like somebody's ordering something on their website, they don't have it. They will send out some of their crew to steal that. So how many politicians in these cities are involved in that circle? That's one problem. And it's the people that are involved in sponsoring this, again, probably Soros and China, have the destruction of the U.S. Front and center in their plans. Now, as we see these stores get ripped off, and you see the money go into other warehouses, and these stores leave, they're quickly dwindling their ability to steal, right? In other words, you just stole everything they've had, forced them out of business, and that's going to dwindle out to nothing. Then what happens? Right now, another fellow that I watch called I Allegedly has a lot of good information on finance and things like that. He's out in California. He was talking about this morning, guys, how many people now are being foreclosed on, and the banks are writing off billions of dollars of credit card losses, things like that. And they have people they can't afford anything anymore. So we're seeing the corruption, the destruction in the cities. Of course, we're seeing what's happening at the borders. But what happens, and that's why I'm here in this video, what happens when everybody is almost broke? All the cities, guys, have been torn to pieces, rioting, stealing, theft like that. What happens next? What's the next step? They come out of the cities. And there will be gangs, large gangs, it looks like to me. Look at this. And again, it's in every major college in the nation right now. It's really worldwide. They're calling for these type, they want to change Germany right now into a Muslim nation. Anyway, they're going to leave the cities, and they're going to go into the more rural areas, smaller towns, rural areas, and they're going to start killing and robbing and raping and looting. Some people are raised to do that, but there's going to be another class of people that would never ever think of doing that until they're looking in the hungry child's eyes. And so not meaning to be evil in what they do, they will become very relentless. Especially people, of course, that haven't built up their survival stuff. And really, that should have been on the main calendar for everyone for the last 10 years at least, maybe more than that. But a lot of people don't think that way. They're just out to steal, grab what they can, and they're destroying the nation. But again, we're going to have those large groups spreading out on purpose. No one's going to lock them up, and they're going to start rampaging. It's going to be a complete revolution here, or revolt here in the U.S. And the elites that are causing this will just sit back once they've done the destruction and let it happen. See who survives, and then they'll probably find a way to get rid of that group. But just think about it. It's evil. But this is where we're going. Things are going downhill very quickly. Economically, the banks are in trouble. Another bank went out a couple of days ago. It got bought up by a larger bank, but they're in trouble. The stock market is lying. There are bonds issues, currency issues everywhere, and it's about to fall apart. All by plan. And you've got to look at the end result, and that is complete gang chaos moving through the nation. And probably not being checked by authorities, stopped, arrested, or anything else. Just going to lay back, let the carnage issue, Mad Max style. We're all going to get involved. So you better prepare to protect yourself, food, water, things like that. Any way you can, because that's where it's going. People are almost broke now. We're not years away from this chaos. You're looking at it happening. Come and watch this video. Just put in a YouTube search for videos, college campus Hamas protest or Gaza protest, any way you want to do it. But that's where this is leading. Planned destruction from sea to shining sea. And the elite are letting it happen, the elite politicians. And the evilness of the whole situation is grim, because we saw what happened the last election. Numbers got changed. You know, who knows what really happened. But, and now they are jailing and imprisoning people, carrying them to trial, that complained about the theft. In other words, they did a dirty deed, got caught for it, and now they are persecuting and imprisoning the people that were trying to stand up and do the right thing. So they committed a crime, and they're following it up with more crimes, all evil and intent, and it's to scare the masses. J6 was something that was planned, and they planned to scare everybody to death with it by the way they treat those prisoners for the last several years. No one wants to be put in that situation, especially in the D.C. gulag, is what they call it. Now, it looks like in the Israeli situation, they are about to move into Rafah, one of the last places in Gaza that people have had some type of shelter or security. It looks like they're about to go in there. And there's trouble brewing on the northern border with Hezbollah daily. So we don't know how that's going to work out yet. There's so much going tit and tat back and forth between them and Iran, Iraq, that it's hard to say. But I can tell you what's happening here in the U.S., and you're looking at it, and they want to take over everything, and they're going to do everything in their power to do it. Just think about what I'm saying. It's about to go down to, well, look at the tent cities right here. They're just going to camp out. Now, some police forces have come in, like I said, with a heavy hand and removed them. University of Texas, I think that happened, and University, one of the ones in Georgia, up in Atlanta, possibly did the same thing. Heavy-handed police force. And now, so just let's go back and look at that a moment. We didn't see that with Antifa and BLM, which were mostly white people. We didn't see that heavy-handedness, but we're starting to see it here. And again, I said there's a lot of money involved, but is it also to push these protests into very dangerous demonstrations and chaos? Very well could be. We're being played by multiple people, multiple agencies. Some are NGO, non-government. Just got the money to feed the politicians. But we're in a very desperate situation right now. Video not too long ago, I mentioned that people were thinking that Biden may step in, create a national emergency situation where he can basically declare martial law and there will be no elections. If that happens, and it's a good possibility, then this chaos is just going to continue to escalate. Now, if by some miracle, I'm not saying by a legitimate vote miracle, but by some miracle that someone that may care more about this country gets into office, they're going to have their hands full cleaning up this mess. And they're talking about now with the infrastructure situation, the banks and the money, it'll be 10 years before we can see daylight if it ended now. But the evil on this planet is not intending to let this end. Guys, you better get ready, because how long do you think these big cities are going to stay full of people hungry? And it's getting there very quickly. They're coming out. They haven't planned. Most of them probably couldn't plant a garden if they had the place to do it. Wouldn't have the energy because they're so used to going and stealing everything. But we are in a dire situation. Always keep your faith in our Father in heaven. And guys, there's some people that say, well, I really don't believe in that or whatever, atheists or whatever. But then when things start happening, they start saying, oh, Father, please help me out. Lord, help me. You know, and so they know inherently in your soul, you do, I do, that there is our Father in heaven, and that he does exist, because that's where we always turn to when we feel anxiety or anything. I just even praise. Just wake up and say, Lord, thank you for another day. You're connecting. So there's a lot of people that connect that just don't admit it, all right? But that's going to be important. That's going to be our only hope, I think. There's going to be some problems when you get into places like here in the South. I think Jason Aldean had something about try that in a small town song not too long ago. And so it's not going to be as easy it is in these as it is in the democratically led cities. And that's what they want, more chaos. If it gets out of hand, then they can come down heavy-handed with whatever forces they think they need. But this is their army. This is the evil army of the evil dark empire that you're seeing. They don't need a real cause other than destruction and chaos and destroy this country. It's a shame that it's went this far, but I guess we had it too good too long, and people became passive. But then, guys, when you look at it, you can say that, but the truth in many ways is that when the elections are stolen or rigged, regardless of what country you're in, it's not that you're not trying. It's just your vote, like a lot of things, other things in this nation, has been stolen. And they do that because it discourages people to get out and vote the next time. I would say vote, and what have you got to lose? It's a lot better than laying down and doing nothing. And a lot of people are discouraged with the political situation I am. I hate to even talk about it. It's so discouraging. But it's reality when it comes down to the things that we're going to have to deal with, right? Just wanted to talk about this for a moment, guys. I'll put a couple of links below here. We're watching it. Let me know what you think in the comments. And by the way, subscribe and thumbs up. I don't ever say that, but everybody else does, so I'm going to say it. But so many of you have been here for a long, long time, and it means a lot. By the way, my appointment has been put off, and they're going to reschedule it. I don't know the exact time. I was kind of dreading the procedure, but I was ready to get it over with and find out what all that we had to do. So that's been put off for a little while. I guess maybe some things are good. We had some pretty wet weather come through here most of the morning, and it would have been a tough traveling out of town to go up and do that. But anyway, that's why at least I can do this video instead of being up there all day like I've had many days here in the last month. But they had to change the time. I don't know why, I don't know. But there's a lot of, I guess you can have emergencies. You can have doctors that have an emergency situation. But they're going to let me know pretty quick, and I'm going to keep you guys updated on that. I noticed in the comments on the weather video this morning about the storms. You guys don't forget anything. Back when I said on the 29th, I was going to find out some information. And everyone this morning was wishing me good luck with that, and that means a lot to me. But as soon as I may get a phone call today. I talked to my doctor late yesterday afternoon, and even though it was Sunday, and they're trying to bypass that situation and get it moved forward, even if it's through a different medical center. But again, we're watching this, guys. Let me know what you think about this. I think this is where we're headed, and it's a planned demolition. Heads up, be safe.